As you guys know, Jagex is getting a new CEO, which is big. Can be scary, can be alarming. Some people are worried that the game is going to change and die. People are worried that we're going to get microtransactions. Good luck. Let me know if this is too loud or not loud enough.
Hello everyone and welcome to a very special video. I'm your host, Mod Aiza.
Mod Aiza, for once in his life, is not wearing cat ears, which is awesome. It's good to see him not being a cringe cunt on camera. For once, it's good.
Lead community manager for Oldschool Runescape, and I'm joined by the wonderful.
I am Mod Yuri, community manager for Runescape.
And today we are joined by the one and only Mod North, Jagex's new CEO. Hello, Mod North.
Hello again.
So is he already CEO? When did has that transition already taken place? Was Mod Pip still in there for a bit? Yeah, Mod Pips is still CEO at the moment, but do we know when that's actually happening? I don't know what the transition of a CEO is like. This is the webpage here. This is fucking unit, dude. My man, let's go. I'm not sure if it. He looks way less corporate now. Well, yeah, he's got the Zuck shirt on for what's that guy's name? Is the guy that bought the Inferno cape? Do you guys know about the history of the guy that makes this shit? Mitchie Fox on Twitter. I'm pretty sure that's his artwork. He bought an Infernal cape. And I think he bought his quiver too, got exposed for it, but like Jagex and JMods are aware of it, but didn't ban him or reverse it or anything because they've collaborated with him to sell it at Jagex as merch. So it's very interesting to see people were very upset about that on Twitter. That was a good time last year.
Hello, hello. I'm good. I'm rested. RuneFest took it out of me for a bit, but I'm good, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, RuneFest, of course, we can't forget that. We have a load of questions to get through, but we're going to break the ice a little bit first. Let's talk about RuneFest. I had a fantastic time personally. How did you find RuneFest, Mod North? Were you there?
I was there, yeah. I mean, I've been at a few of them in the past as well, both as an employee and a player. And actually to see the sort of the build up over 6 years and the sudden sort of relief moment when everybody got together again was amazing for me. Real goosebumps. I think it wasn't just amazing for the players, but to see our team as well interacting and getting together and spending time with the people they're trying so hard for was just like really special thing.
Yeah, it was really, really wholesome, heartwarming throughout. Did you have a favourite moment if you had to pick one throughout the whole weekend?
I think watching Austin try and chug that beer for about a minute straight, I think that was amazing.
And the socks, don't forget the socks.
I've never seen so much hype over a single thing, and it was socks. Yeah, it was amazing.
It definitely carried through for the entire event. I've been on 2 panels afterwards and it was just socks, socks, socks.
We'll have to check our sales of socks after the event and see if that's our new best product.
They're pretty much sold out after that, I think.
Yeah, I bet.
I think so. It's amazing.
Okay, well, let's get into some light touch questions to begin with. I'm sure people are keen to know a little bit more about your background. But before we get into that, I just want to ask a very generic question of how does it feel to be stepping into the shoes of CEO at Jagex?
Yeah, it's an honor. It's a genuine honor. I've been playing these games for more than 20 years, as I said, and sort of come full circle and assume responsibility in this way is hard to describe. I'm imminently aware of, or deeply aware of, the responsibility to our players and our people. This is very, very precious ground. It's hallowed earth. And so, yeah, I'm just very conscious that this needs to be treated, our games need to be treated.
Yeah, he hits the gym. How much, he's saying all the right things, but, I mean, how much does the CEO actually have control in this situation when, obviously, the CBC as a company will then tell him, you got to do this, that, and the other? How much do they actually interact with what happens with the game going forward? Because apparently he's from CBC, someone was saying. I don't know if that's actually been confirmed, so he's saying the right things. He's been playing for 20 years, so it just depends if that's RS3 or OSRS. Reminds me of that Aussie guy that tied up those kids for breaking into his pool. Oh no, that guy was way bigger than this guy. This guy's head was the size of his fucking biceps, dude. Depends on how much power their board has. Oh, probably a fuck ton, dude.
Treated with the utmost care and respect, and our communities too, obviously.
For sure.
Nice. So you touched on that. So for anyone watching who don't know who you are, for example, can you tell us a little more about your games industry experience, like with Jagex or RuneScape, for example?
Okay. Yeah, of course. So as a professional, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So I started my career at Jagex. I didn't go into the investment banking job that I should have gone into. Instead, I went and joined a video games company that I loved. And part of that was to spite the parents who'd been saying, you'll never get a job if you play that game all day. Look at me now, Mum. That said, so that's how I got into the industry. After that, I spent the next few years.
He didn't say mummy like Prince Charming does from Shrek. That would have been beautiful if he did that. The guy was a Chad. Did he beat the case? No, he didn't actually. He got fined.
Is only working in gaming. So first as an investor, I invested in a bunch of early stage gaming studios to try and create the next big games of the world. After that, I joined a radically different business to Jagex, a business called Huge Games, which is a mobile gaming business, very monetization oriented, entirely different to Jagex and what this company needs. And then, saw that company through an IPO, did a lot of good work with the players of those games.
That's not good.
And then sort of through a winding path, found my way back to Jagex in the last sort of 6 months. So it's amazing to be back.
He's only been at Jagex for 6 months this time round. So he was working at Jagex, fucked off, invested in a bunch of shit. That's good. Worked at a game company that was mobile based with many microtransactions. And then is back at Jagex. He's been here 6 months. This man is being fucking... This is scripted. 100%.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, welcome. Exactly that. Okay, so I know a little bit about your background in terms of actual gaming. You've spoke to me a little bit about RuneScape and Oldschool. Claim to be max in RuneScape?
At one point I was. This was before some of the recent 110s, but at one point a couple of years ago I was maxed.
That's a pretty good achievement. And what about Oldschool? So we know we're close to max. What's your total level?
2175.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I'm 2148 on this account. I mean, I'm 2100 something on multiple accounts. This guy's a fucking noob, dude. Ali disrespect again. Yep, that's it, dude. He's on the right there. He's a good man.
So you are relatively close.
Can you tell that I checked?
You were prepared for this.
All good,
exactly.
Bob.
I mean, look,
Appreciate
it's a high total level, sort of in a literal sense, but I'm miles away. I think I'm like high mid 80s on agility, mining, and rune crafting. So I'm about a quarter of the way
you
there.
really saved the best till last.
Exactly.
That is good.
That's it. I'm not really a total level skiller kind of guy. I think I'm a PVMer, very casual most of all. I've been a PvPer in the past, but terrible. But now I'm a TOB obsessive.
TOB obsessive.
Awesome. So you know your level. Well, what is your favorite piece of content? Would you say?
Tom.
Yeah, it's got to be Theatre of Blood. It's got to be. Like, I get hard carried every time by the group.
Fucking noob. This guy is not a PVM. This guy fucking stinks. If someone says Top is their favorite raid, especially after saying that they get carried hard, this guy's not PVM, dude.
That I play with. And I always end up being the mage and like freezing Nilos. But yeah, I love it. For whatever reason, I think that second raid that Oldschool did has real alchemy in it. I love TOA, I love Chambers, but for whatever reason, Top's the one for me.
Nah, it's
I
fake
like
gamer.
that you
Fake
speak in
gamer.
my language, 'cause it's also my favourite raid.
No one loves TOA. If you know Cox and Tob, it's impossible to love TOA. This guy is fucking just picking buzzwords. I'm getting carried, freezing Nilos. Nah, he's watching a fucking Bodhi stream and going, oh yeah, that's good, mate. Yeah. He said
We
Top.
will raid
Said
at some point. We'll do
TOB.
that.
So you fancy at some point maybe
No, he
we'll
said
jump
he
on
loves
stream
TOA,
and
Top.
and
I'm
I'm
showcase
going to
your
regret
skills?
saying
No
it,
one
but
loves
yes,
TOA.
absolutely. Let's
You
do
heard it here
that.
first. The community stream coming to you. We'll have Mod North with the team of TOB carries.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Okay, so a little bit of the fun stuff out of the way. There's some pretty serious questions. Yeah. We had the announcement go out on Tuesday, just of this week, and with there we asked the community what questions that they might have for you based on the announcement.
Okay.
Now, some of our players are wondering why now has the CEO suddenly changed? And more specifically, was that tied to, quite frankly, some of the backlash that we saw from the players regarding the conjoint analysis around membership?
No, not even remotely. These changes, to change the CEO of a business like this, it takes months of prep
didn't think
timing. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's definitely not a fast thing to do. And so changes like this don't happen overnight and in response to single items like this. Actually, my respect for Mod Pips, as you've already heard, is huge. He managed this business as a CEO for 8 years. He'd been part of the team for 14. He took a 20-year-old point-and-click browser MMO to its greatest player numbers ever late last year, alongside, obviously, your fantastic teams. But what he's done is not to be knocked, and I can't think of anyone else who's done something similar. So no, this is definitely not a knee-jerk reaction to anything that's happened in the past few months.
Okay, perfect.
So
Thank you for
why
clarifying.
is it happening,
And I'd just like to, if possible, another difficult one, potentially, talk more specifically around that conjoint membership analysis. Is there anything that we feel players should know about right now? Anything that they may expect to hear from in the future?
Yeah, that conjoint analysis was a total misstep, like just total misstep. I've been a player for 20 years, and my first feeling seeing that conjoint go live was, that was a mistake. That's not who we are. Ultimately, I was a board member at the time, total responsibility for that alongside the rest of the management team and the board. However, it was a mistake, and I think we're 100% clear on that.
How can you be a board member at the time? I mean, I guess if my understanding is correct, when it comes to having a board like that, it's majority vote, right? Is it if someone has a higher stake in the company, their vote counts more than others, or is it just it's all even on the board? Like, and then you got the chairman that makes the decisions, right? How many people on the board are not RuneScape players? Because if he was on the board and they passed it, there can't be that many RuneScape players on the board, right? People that are invested in the game. Because that was crazy to release that survey. That like no one. Boards are different, but mostly yes. See, nobody has to be a player. Yeah, shit. Well, at least we're getting a board member that has played the game, or at least he's studied it in the past 6 months.
It shouldn't need to be said out loud, but there will never be microtransactions in old school RuneScape ever.
Clip it. Clip it. Fucking clip that again. Hold on.
Said out loud, but there will never. I think we're 100% clear on that. It shouldn't need to be said out loud, but there will never be microtransactions in old school RuneScape ever. This will never be an advertising driven business. That's not who we are. I'm aware of that. Management's aware of that. The team's aware of that, and the players are definitely aware of that. But I just, for the sake of clarity, total misstep, lines in the sand.
Big CEO,
great.
WCEO.
Again, thank you for the extra clarity. And there's one more thing I'll press you about on this matter, and that is around improvements. One of the things that came out of that was a perceived notion for value when players are paying for their membership, especially around our services that we offer them. Is there anything that players can expect to learn more about on that?
Yeah, good question. Absolutely, yes. So we will be publishing a roadmap for customer service improvements in April, so in 1 month. You can expect to see a lot of what you might expect to see. Things like more human interaction in the process, transparency of ticket management processes, some self-serve functionality, all of the things that you'd really hope to see from a best-in-class live game customer service production. It's not all going to drop overnight, but there is a real clear process, and we're going to treat this just like a large piece of content that's rolling out, whether it's Zaya, Varlamore, or Sailing, and check in with the community procedurally and frequently with status updates. So yeah, April.
Amazing.
That would be big. If his first move as CEO is to get on top of the player support, that would be that like he'll win over the community like that easily. That's like it won't like shit on mod pips. It would just make the transition of the community accepting him fucking massive, dude. My first side task had what do I do? Emblout or Dragon Hammer? No Emblout, but Dragon Hammer. She's a Fang, dude. You don't need a Dragon Hammer if you got a Fang. Yeah, player support coming next month as well. So we got Sailing beta this month. And then player support next month. That's awesome. Very big Chad move, but somehow they got to pay for it. That's what's scary. I don't think that they somehow got to pay for it. I think they have the money for it. I think they need to provide it. They're not going to up the membership cost to make up for player support. I don't think that's going to happen. Use your Arclight. Arclight with Dragon Hammer would be fun. I think there's no way they go, oh, we can give you player support, but you got to up the membership. That would be cunty. They can afford to increase the membership, increase their player support without increasing the membership. Like they said, self-service. What did you say? Like self-service ticket management and stuff. That doesn't cost much. Like that's something that they develop like a piece of content. Like
it's not all going to drop overnight, but there is a real clear process, and we're going to treat this just like a large piece of content that's rolling out, whether it's Zaya, Varlamore, or Sailing, and check in with the community procedurally and frequently. With status updates. So yeah, April.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
So as our CEO, what is would you say is your vision for Jagex, RuneScape, Oldschool Runescape? What would you say is your 10-year plan, for example, between 5 to 10 years?
10-year plans to grow the communities of both. And it really is that simple. So Jagex as a business is fantastic at maintaining and building and growing Oldschool RuneScape and RuneScape 3 and shortly RuneScape Survival. I'm sure we'll talk about that. But actually, what's closest and nearest to my heart is taking old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3, not meddling with the formula, making them incrementally better with the most fantastic designers, I think, on earth for these games. I'm looking to many of your respective teams here. I think if I get out of the way and empower and endorse and support those teams to continue doing what they've been doing, particularly in the case of old school, and we'll talk a bit more about the differentiations between each shortly, I suspect. Get out the way, empower them to do what they do best, deliver fantastic content that players want for years on end. And we supplement that with a bit of hype building. I actually think there's no reason why these communities can't grow healthily for the next sort of 5-10 years. And to be honest, in the case of RuneScape 3, I think we need to think longer than 10 years. It needs to be 25, 50 years in the future. There's no reason why these games can't have another 25 years in the case of a game like RuneScape 3. We just need to make sure that that game, its economic model, its integrity is set up for another 25 years of sustainable, healthy growth.
You had it here, 25 years. Let's go.
That's really
that's
a big goal.
There's a little exclamation mark, remind me, 25 years.
Set your reminders.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
So, elephant in the room within the community has been your previous roles. And you mentioned yourself working at Huge. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've personally seen many players with a large amount of skepticism behind your intentions coming into Jagex, fearing the worst case being hugely aggressive monetization across both games. What's your response to that?
There will never be microtransactions in old school RuneScape, and RuneScape 3 needs to be less aggressive on monetization in order to build sustainability for the next 25 years. It's as clear as I can be. I've seen firsthand what these hyper-monetizing games on mobile look like. That is not what our games are, and it is not what they need.
How do they, if they make RS3 less aggressive with microtransactions, how do they replace that cost? The Zuck shirt goes harder. What one? I would link you to it, but I don't have the link. Plus, he's an Infernal Cape seller. You might be going to an Infernal Cape service. Buyer, sorry, not seller. Problem is introducing the newer generation that have different views on gaming, that prefer faster-based games like Fortnite. Grinding games don't seem to grasp the new generation. You're exactly right. Yep. The hard part is getting people into the game that are 13, 14, 15-year-olds like we did when we were that age, right? We were into RuneScape then, but now you've got to compete with Minecraft and Fortnite and Roblox and Warzone and all that shit, and they're all free-to-play games, you know? That it costs nothing to play that, and it's completely different, and they're so much bigger. MMORPGs are very hard to maintain and run and sell to people. So does this game have 25 years left in it? Sure. But if you can't get the next generation completely involved in it, you might only have 25, 30 years left anyway before everyone's fucking dead, you know? How do you think RuneScape could even get new people into the game? That's it. 13, 14, 15. I was playing this game. I was playing this game when I was 6 or 7, but I wasn't playing on a serious level. I was logged in, walking around, getting my finger blasted. But, I was playing on a more serious note, either having membership or trying to get membership when I was, probably 13, 14. DM the clip. Thank you. I'll check it out after. That's what I'm saying. Unless they're allocating their money differently and cutting the fat, how are they going to pay for these changes? Well, some of the changes aren't necessarily, big. Old school RuneScape, it's just inflation that's going to be an impact. Well, the argument of inflation, should I say, that's going to be an impact on changing the membership prices. But if they cut back on RuneScape 3, which makes a lot of their money, they may have to make up for that somewhere. I don't know. Player support services, I don't think is a monetary loss that they're going to worry about. They should be able to cop that quite easily. Adding multiple account packages for membership, does that make it better? You probably could make more money through that aspect short term. But again, how many people play more than one account? How many people play more than 2 accounts actively? I don't know. So it won't hit the whole player base. The key thing is to get the next generation into RuneScape. My son, he kind of he's interested in looking at this game, but fucking Minecraft is just more engaging. He likes playing Crash Bandicoot and Mario and shit like that. You know, it's a completely different world of gaming. it's on the Switch, it's easy, or the Xbox, and he's got Roblox, and he can play the Sonic the Hedgehog shit, you know? Which is good. But he looks at this and goes, what the fuck, you know? W Sunday, yeah, big time. If you were CEO, Condor, how would you get new people through the door? If I was CEO of Oldschool Runescape, of Jagex, I don't even know how. Like, I'm not a very business-orientated person. How would I do that? I would, I don't. You'd have to do some sort of marketing. It's got to be around mostly marketing, right? You've got to market it to a younger audience. Maybe RuneScape Survival that they're going to be talking about in a minute. Maybe that is marketed towards a younger audience because it apparently has Minecraft Rust-ish elements to it. Which, if people can relate to Minecraft and RuneScape in an aspect, then maybe that helps draw people to RuneScape 3 and Oldschool RuneScape after. Who knows? I'm not sure. Kind of like how you had H1Z1, then you had H1Z1 Battle Royale. And that's what spawned the Battle Royale style game and fandom. It was around before that with Armor and stuff, but to a whole nother level of loving Battle Royales. H1Z1 having survival and the Battle Royale and then spawning off into two separate games. That changed Battle Royales forever. That was the big moment. And then PUBG took it to the next level. And then Fortnite took it to a level that will never be achieved again in gaming, right? You can have a great game, but if you don't advertise it to people, they won't know about it. That's exactly right. With streamers like Tyler 1 showing interest, that could help bring in the fresh audience. Nah, the people that watch Tyler 1 know what RuneScape is. People like Tyler 1 play RuneScape on the background, or they have RuneScape accounts. Like, it's not... It'll be... It's YouTubers that'll get people into RuneScape, not streamers. YouTubers have a far bigger impact on games than streamers. If you don't believe me, look up Minecraft YouTubers, then look up Minecraft streamers, and look at the views they do. Look at the sort of content they do. It is mind-numbingly fucking brain-dead content. Any Minecraft YouTuber you watch, it is just horse shit. It is staged horse crap. That and kids fucking eat that shit up, man. They eat that shit up, and it's just millions of views of them just like pretending like they just found all this fucking diamond in the chest, and kids they can't stop, man. They love it. That's the sort of marketing you want to have. You want to have a game that's marketable like that at least. Most critical max on the stream. I don't think there was a surge in players. Nah, even there was only a small surge when Asmund got played, but that was also during a league, right? I don't want my daughter getting addicted to this game, but she thinks it's lame anyway. Fair enough. Let's check my age via Hans and Lumbridge. 200 days in OSRS last played. Played since I first logged in 18 years ago. Fucking hell, mate. Cut the bloat would help, and getting JMods back at the office to get more work done. Oh, I heard that they're getting rid of work from home at Jagex and bringing the JMods back into the office. Is that true? I heard that's what they're doing, which people were advocating for because people felt like they weren't doing enough work, which I personally, I don't think working from home is bad. I think working from home is actually healthy and just as productive as working in the office. I think people just feel like if they're not seeing work getting done, they just blame it on working from home. But the reality is as long as you're meeting your KPIs and doing what is expected of you, it shouldn't really be too big of a deal. If you're working at the office, at the end of the day, businesses tend to take more advantage of their employees and their employees' time because it's like, if you're not fucking sweeping the floors, you're leaning, what the fuck are you doing sort of mentality. It does depend on the person, absolutely. But as long as you're having done what's required of you, then I think what they should do is do what I think it was Donald Trump that said it, right? When he got into office, what did he do? He turned around to some team at Congress or something, and or the FBI, whatever the fuck it was, and just said, show me what you've done in the last 5 days. And if they haven't done anything in the last 5 days, he fired them. Is that right? Did I get that right? Something like that, or some sort of idea like that. Go to people, just see how much work they've done in the last 3 months. And if they haven't done enough work to match 3 months, fuck the cunts off. Elon did that. That's it. Yeah. Sorry, Elon did that to someone. Yeah, just to some company. Yeah. Just if you haven't done anything in the last week, why the fuck are you here? Because you're just wasting time. Trim the fat, man. You know. Twitter. Everyone complained when he took over Twitter. Twitter functions perfectly fine for the most part, and he trimmed the fat. Maybe the cost is more on the employees. Who knows? I don't know. But working from home, I don't know if is necessarily a bad thing. think a lot of people do take advantage of work from home, sure, but there's nothing wrong with hanging your washing out and going out to lunch when you work from home, as long as you get your work done, right? Increase the workload while they work from home. That's totally fine. Why not? Yeah. I work from home. Efficiency doesn't change versus working at the office. Depression is real from never leaving the house, though. Don't do it full time. Speaking of the RuneScape survival game, I have an extra friend code for the beta if you're interested in trying it when they reopen it. I would love that, please, Gray. Thank you. Please DM that to me on Discord. Yes, I was trying to get a hold of that code. That would be awesome, man. Please and thank you. Heard they were doing weekly progress reports and now it moved to a month. Could be wrong. That's good. Working from home just means I can do fun stuff in my downtime instead of sitting there staring in space. Yeah, well, that's it. You can also... You just do shit in the comfort of your own home. Some people find it better, so I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Should the RuneScape survival? Oh, yeah, absolutely, if I'm allowed to. Yeah, for sure. I think for the most part, if you're going to have... If you're going to want to bring more people to this game, it needs to be more... appetizing to a younger audience, and that's fucking hard to do. The competition is very tough, but we'll see what he talks about the survival game, which is coming up at the end there.
It's totally incompatible. So while I totally have respect for the skepticism and perhaps cynicism about my background and thinking, oh God, I don't want my community and my game to go in that direction, it will not.
He said we're not getting micros, so...
So MTX is obviously a very big topic in the RS3 community. We've had a whole mass of questions that have been coming in regarding this. Last year, we had a consultancy questionnaire about NTX to our players. So what can they expect? Has there been any update on this that we can tell our players?
Yeah, good question. So I looked at that consultancy when it went live. I think I responded myself, and I've seen some of the results since. Look, my view on this is... we're not in a sustainable holding pattern right now with the way that RuneScape 3 monetizes. That's no secret. The community knows this. It was clear in the feedback. Our internal team knows this, and our team are extraordinary. They care about this game more than you'd believe. They don't want it to be an unsustainable pattern. Players don't want it to be an unsustainable pattern. I don't want it to be an unsustainable pattern. What we need to do is recognize that we're leaning a bit too much on the gas right now, maybe a lot too much, and find a way to come off the gas. It won't be quick. This is a game with 20 years of feature development and interconnected systems within it that are all tied into our microtransaction ecosystem. That's not an easy thing to unpick, and so it won't be a mic drop moment where everything sort of gets switched off and we move forwards. It will be turning the tanker into a direction that guarantees another 25 years of sustainable, healthy operation. I think the quick way to answer it is we know there is a problem there. I'm personally invested in creating a more healthy game. So yeah, it's going to happen. It will happen.
Who fucking asked?
Great, thank you. I'm sure, yeah, a lot of players are going to be wanting to know more about this. So, that's great. Thank you for being honest about it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what about things that aren't RuneScape or old school, right? There's a lot of upcoming projects, things that Jagex are working on, especially something like RuneScape Project Survival. How do you feel about that?
RuneScape. That is absolutely RuneScape. It's not old school, but it is RuneScape.
Okay.
Yeah, look, Survival for me is really interesting project. I've been quite lucky. I've played a bunch of the internal builds and some of the alpha test builds as well over the past few months. And
so who's played the Project Survival game? Gray, have you played it much? What do you think of it? Like, out of 10, what do you rate it? Is it similar to a Minecraft or Rust build? Let me know. I'd love to see what people think of it.
Last one, genuinely, a few weeks ago, I was supposed to be spending about an hour just looking through the latest build to check for changes. Spent more than 20 hours playing the game over a weekend. I'm not joking,
way.
I swear.
Wow.
And so I got really hooked, and I think my girlfriend was worried about my health, and about 4 a.m. I sort of trundled into the bedroom, like, still stressing about goblins just destroying my house without giving up too much. I swear, I actually am. I'm really excited. This is one of the first big releases that Jagex has had for a long time now, years. And it's one of the few products that I've seen sort of being ideated upon that really deserves to wear the RuneScape name, in my opinion. So we'll hear more about that shortly, but I'm stoked. I think it'll be great.
So that sounds like a sort of Valheim. It sounds like a sort of Valheim-ish playstyle, but RuneScape. So that's really it's like Valheim but RuneScape. Okay. That could be marketed pretty well with better art. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's RuneScape more than Oldschool RuneScape, right? So you're going to be going into... it connects to the RuneScape lore somehow, I believe I read. That's something you could market to a younger audience. To be honest, they could market RuneScape 3 to a younger audience just with the way that it looks, rather than Old School RuneScape. Like, Old School RuneScape is... when they have HD come out, they could probably try and market it a bit better, but, like... You go to fucking Kmart or Target and there's just... or Walmart, and there's Fortnite figurines everywhere, you know? There's Fortnite fucking movies and shit, and Minecraft shit everywhere. Get a Minecraft backpack and shit. Like, you can't do that with RuneScape because they don't do it. Is it worth doing it? No, they don't have a child audience. You got to breach into that market, you know? I don't know the best way to do it. Get all the Minecraft YouTubers and all the kid fucking Fortnite YouTubers and just pay them fucking 50 grand to make 12 months of fucking RuneScape content, and then you get all the newer generation into RuneScape, then you've got a whole bunch of new players, and the game goes downhill in terms of just rats everywhere, but goes uphill in terms of more customers and a bigger dynamic and growth. Easy game. Done. That could be, I don't know if that's good for the game though, to be honest. I don't know if we need a younger audience, but at the same time, otherwise it's going to die eventually, right? World's already fucked as it is, and you want a surge. Make there a under 16s worlds. Put them all on there, so you can't log in. Please stop selling garbage to kids, Jesus. Fuck the kids, dude. It's not about selling the garbage to the kids. It's about getting more people into RuneScape. Like, the next generation is the question, right? How do you get the next generation into a game that you're only playing if you're in your mid to late 20s onwards, you know? I mean, I'm only 22, but, you know, post that. I used to see Old School RuneScape and RuneScape membership cards in the gift card shop. Yep, used to see them all the time. You don't see them anymore, but they got rid of them, yeah. Give me a RuneScape series to watch. Rune News. It's a good one. Didn't Australia pass a law about kids not being online or something? No, I think it's just Facebook. You need to be 13 to have a Facebook account or some gay shit. I don't know. It's probably the right thing to do, if I'm honest with you. With all the predators and shit out there, it's best to make it as hard as possible. But you went on websites. I'm sure you all went on fucking 2 Girls, 1 Cup when you were, you know, not 18. I fucking bet. So kids know their way around a laptop. King's age changes by the day. We may never know his real age. I'm 22. If a new audience did join, how would that affect the price of mole slivers? Oh, mole slivers would go up because, you know, the younger audience, they're not as intelligent as us. They haven't learnt the scams yet. That means more people to double gold and trim armor for them. We can flip the market on them. Never saw the vid, but I knew what it was. Fair enough. A RuneScape animation series like Minecraft movie coming out. Oh, that's what you mean? Oh, I mean, I don't know if we want to go that far yet. But RuneScape Survival could be something good. I mean, when I played Valheim for the first time ever, I spent 16 hours on it and then woke up and played another 16 hours the next day with Jay, all day. Didn't play much after the second week, but we spent a long fucking time playing that game, like day 1 and 2. So if you played Valheim and knew that there was a MMORPG version of the game that was less survival and more grindy, you probably would have checked that out. I probably would have. So that's not a bad way to kind of flagship RuneScape games. As a former Clan Wars golf clap scammer, it's much harder to scam now. Yeah, that's fair, I guess. Got it late. Will this be a video? Yes, man.
No, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us today and answer the questions. The transparency has been really appreciated. I've personally really, really been grateful for the fact that you've been here. I'm sure the players have too. Speaking of transparency, is this something that we should expect more of moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're at our best when the game teams and the community are closest together. I think that needs to continue, and it's going to be one of my jobs to make sure that it does. But ultimately, I think your game teams, you folks on the front line, already do a pretty great job of it. I think what we're doing with player support, announcing the roadmap in April, is a great example of the tone that we'd like to continue to set. But actually, I don't think there's a need to reinvent the wheel on that, to be honest. It's important that the community stays close to the game team, and myself and the rest of the leadership team, we do what we can to enable that.
Amazing.
Good,
thank you.
Brilliant. Of course. So thank you so much, Modern North. It's been absolutely
other
fantastic.
Companies, from what I know, don't really do things like this. You mean the Q&A or the communicating with the player base? I don't really feel like either of that really happens much. Like, Jagex is very unique in this field from what I know, I don't see many gaming companies doing this. However, I can't imagine Activision doing it because they're so big and have so many projects on, and EA is too busy trying to fucking rug pull their current audience on like FIFA Street 3 or some dumb shit. Blizzard, I don't think cares. The only thing Blizzard cares about is which female employee is going to get finger blasted at the next work party and then kills herself, or they steal the breast milk out of the work fridge. You know, they're occupied over there. I don't really feel like there's many gaming companies that are this invested in their player base. At the same time, there is times where the J-mods get too invested in the player base. Now, if they want to get invested in the player base to get opinions on games and updates, that's great. But when they start, you know, you're having the anti-cheat team and an individual, let's call her Stella, and they start fucking each other online and then using that to abuse the banning system on players and run a black market underground, it's not very good. Or you have a moderator, let's go by the name of Mod Jed, who happens to be part of the biggest PvP and black market toxic clan in the game that starts stealing people's names and rigging, you know, cash prize compositions that Jagex holds, you're going to have problems, right? So I think as long as the line is drawn and people don't get too parasocial, they remember that J-mods are professionals and players are customers, I don't think they do too bad on that level. But sometimes Reddit is also fucking wrong. Overall, I think this Q&A was pretty good. It was nice to see him twice say that there would never be microtransactions in the game. I didn't realize he was already CEO, that transition's happening. He's already fucking sending it, so that's good. His industry experience is interesting, considering he did have a lot of microtransaction history. What else we got here? Why is it changing now? They never actually asked why it's changing. They just said it's not because of the survey, so I guess Mod Pips couldn't be fucked. It'd be interesting to know whether he wants to leave or if he decided to fuck up, considering Mod North's only been there for 6 months. Membership analysis. Can join membership. He said that was bad. That's fine. Player support's coming next month. New player support stuff. We're going to get a whole roadmap, which is huge. His vision is to keep going and basically let the J-mods do their thing. So his vision is to kick back and watch the game make money. Fuck RuneScape 3. It's dog shit. And Project Survival, looking forward to that one at least. What a great non-answer. Yeah, pretty much. It was like, why the CEO now? Oh, it's got nothing to do with the surveys. Oh, okay. Next question. But overall, pretty solid video. Good information. Good, fair questions, to be honest. Modaiza was not a cringe cunt for once too, which was awesome. That was good to see. I didn't have to close my eyes and wish I wasn't alive, so that was nice. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him, goddamn! Fuck me, look at that boy. It's huge! You got a big boy.